Okay, so just imagine for a second the sheer logistical nightmare of moving a small city. We're talking troops, tanks, supplies
Everything.
from a ship across open water and onto a hostile beach while you're probably being shot at. That's what we're getting into today.
Yeah, that is the essence of amphibious operations, and we're digging into Amphibious Operations 109 to do it.
Specifically, we're focusing on what the manual calls the most critical phase, that ship-to-shore movement. And honestly, the command structure alone seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
It's incredibly complex. You have this forced marriage between two huge organizations. The Navy's Amphibious Task Force and the Landing Force, which is, usually the Marines.
And there's this really strict separation of powers. You've got the CATF, that's the commander of the Amphibious Task Force, the Navy side.
And then you have the CLF, the commander of the Landing Force.
So who's actually in charge?
Well, that's the thing. It shifts. The Navy commander, the CATF, has absolute authority while everyone is at sea, and during that initial movement, their job is to get the force there safely.
But the Marine commander isn't just, sitting back and waiting.
No, not at all. They're consulted on everything. But, and this is the key point, the landing force commander doesn't officially take charge of the whole operation until they've established, and I'm quoting here, sufficient combat power ashore.
That is just a fascinating distinction. So the Navy owns the water, but the Marines have to earn the land before they can run the show on it.
Exactly. It's a formal, doctrinal handoff of command.
And it's not always a massive D-Day invasion, right? The manual gives a few options.
It does. The big one is the assault, which is what you're thinking of. Forcible entry with the plan to stay.
Then you've got the raid.
That's a swift incursion. Go in, hit a target, maybe grab some intel or personnel, and then you have a planned withdrawal. In and out.
And my favorite, the demonstration.
The ultimate feint. You show up with the whole fleet, fly the jets, make a ton of noise.
And just get the enemy to move their forces, to react to something that's never actually going to happen.
Right. It's a massive bluff. But to pull any of these off, real or fake, you need the hardware. The Gator Navy.
Let's talk about the big ships. The manual points to the LHA and LHD.
Your amphibious assault ships. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're small aircraft carriers. They have flight decks for helicopters and F-35s, but they also have a well deck in the back.
A well deck that floods, right, so it can launch boats from inside the ship.
Exactly. Then you get the LPD, the transport dock. The manual loves the San Antonio class. It's built for what they call the mobility triad.
Meaning it can launch different things at once.
All at once. Hovercraft out the back, ospreys off the flight deck, and amphibious vehicles driving right out of the hold. And then you've got the LSD, the dock landing ship, which is really just all in on that well deck space for launching craft.
Which brings us to the connectors themselves, the taxis. And we have to talk about the LHE.
The landing craft air cushion. This isn't a boat.
No, it's a hovercraft. It's a huge leap over the old landing craft utility, the LCU.
And those LCUs are workhorses, don't get me wrong. They're the ones hauling M1 Abrams tanks to the beach. But they're slow. The LSEC just flies over the water on a cushion of air.
At high speed. And the manual says it has over-the-horizon range. We're talking up to 100 miles.
Which is key. It means the big, expensive ships can stay safe way out at sea, far from coastal missiles. And because the LSEC flies over the surf zone, it doesn't care about tides or reefs.
I saw a stat on that. A normal landing craft can only access about, 15% of the world's coastlines?
Something like that. The LSEC opens up over 70%. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so you launch everything. The LSECs, the helos, the LCUs. Suddenly the beach is flooded with people and equipment. How do you stop that from becoming just a total parking lot?
That is the single biggest friction point. If that beach gets clogged, the entire assault grinds to a halt right at the water's edge.
And that's where this LFS key comes in.
Yes, the Landing Force Support Party. Think of it as a temporary logistics company created just for this moment. It dissolves later.
And it's made of both Navy and Marine personnel.
It is. You have the Navy's beach party managing the boats in the surf, and the Marine shore party acting as traffic cops on the sand, directing vehicles, supplies, and casualties. Their only job is to get combat power moving inland as fast as possible.
It's all just choreography, isn't it? Less about brute force and more about this incredibly intricate dance.
That's the perfect word for it, and it really underscores that this kind of forcible entry is a capability that is, well, it's pretty unique. There's no clearer way to signal your intent in a crisis.
Which leaves us with a really interesting final thought, circling back to that demonstration idea. If you're a defender and a fleet worth billions of dollars appears on your horizon with jets screaming overhead,
Yeah.
How can you ever really know if it's the real thing or if it's just the world's most expensive distraction? At least not until the first boot hits the sand. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.